Right before people die, they often say the same thing. Someone was there. Mountain climbers, shipwreck survivors, soldiers in war, different centuries, different continents, different languages, all describing the exact same thing. Here's the problem. There was no one there. And here's the part that's actually unsettling. Scientists still can't fully explain it. In 1970, British mountaineer Frank Smythe was climbing Everest alone. His oxygen was running low. His body temperature was dropping. His mind was starting to unravel piece by piece. But later, he wrote this down. I was not alone. Someone was walking beside me, matching my exact pace. He even turned to offer that presence a piece of biscuit. When he turned, there was nothing there. Here's why this story is unsettling. He wasn't the only one. In 1916, Ernest Shackleton and his crew crossed ice and open sea to survive after their ship was crushed in Antarctica. Later, each man testified separately, without ever coordinating their stories. The entire way to safety, it felt like there was one more person than the number of men actually walking. 3 men. It felt like 4, and then something strange happened. This story eventually made its way into one of the most famous poems in literature, T.S. Eliot's The Waste Land. Who is the third who walks always beside you? Eliot later confirmed he was directly inspired by Shackleton's account. This wasn't fiction born from imagination. It came from a true story. If the story ended there, it would just be a strange mountaineering anecdote. But it didn't end there. On September 11th, 2001, multiple survivors who escaped the collapsing World Trade Center reported something eerily similar. While descending the stairwells, they felt someone grab their arm and guide them toward the exit. When they turned around, there was no one. Freedivers, moments away from blacking out from oxygen deprivation in the deep ocean, have reported the exact same thing. Everest, Antarctica, the World Trade Center, the deep sea, completely different eras, completely different situations, and yet the experience is disturbingly identical. And here's the part almost nobody talks about. This phenomenon has also been repeatedly reported among soldiers in active combat. In trenches under heavy fire, soldiers have described being pushed to the ground by something that wasn't a fellow soldier. Everyone who encounters this presence describes the exact same 3 things. First, no face was ever visible. Second, no words were ever spoken. Third, and yet, they felt completely, perfectly safe. Not fear. Certainty. Certainty that something was protecting them. Scientists try to explain this away. Oxygen deprivation, extreme stress, isolation-induced hallucination. It was a convincing explanation. But here's where everything changes. This phenomenon has also been reported in situations with completely normal oxygen levels, in moments that weren't even that extreme. The oxygen deprivation theory alone couldn't account for a growing number of cases, and here's the part that really nobody talks about. Many people who encountered this presence say that when they remember it, they don't feel fear. They feel grief. Not because it was terrifying, because they miss it. One survivor described it this way: the safest I have ever felt in my entire life was, ironically, the moment I was closest to dying. Neuroscientists have recently started offering a deeper explanation. Under extreme conditions, the brain splits a single identity into 2. One half collapses under pain and fear, slowly breaking down. The other half watches coldly, calculates the next move, and gives the order not to give up. We experience that second half as a stranger. The brain, in order to protect itself, splits itself in two. But that wasn't even the worst part. If this is true, it means something else. Inside every single one of us, there is already another self living quietly, one that never appears in ordinary life. It only reveals itself when we are at our absolute weakest, when death is close enough to touch. We go our entire lives without ever learning its name. This was never really about mountain climbers. It was never really about disasters or war or survival. This is about all of us. Every single day we tell ourselves we know who we are. We believe we know our own tastes, our own personality, our own fears. But when we are truly pushed to the absolute edge, who is that presence that appears inside us? The voice that whispers, "Keep going." Is that really us? Or is it someone else? Someone who never shows itself in ordinary life, hiding inside us the entire time. Maybe we spend our entire lives only ever knowing half of ourselves, and the other half only reveals itself quietly in our darkest moments, only when death gets close enough. And maybe the reason that presence is remembered with grief is because it is the purest version of ourselves we will ever meet. No fear, no self-consciousness, no social mask, just one single purpose, keeping us alive. So the next time someone tells you they saw a presence right before they almost died, don't dismiss it. Consider this instead. Maybe it wasn't a ghost at all. Maybe it was you, a version of you you have never met. And right now, in this exact moment, that presence is still inside you, waiting, quietly, until the moment you need it most.